Would you join me as we light the chalice? The words are in your order of service. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
name is Charlie Tyler. I'm the pastoral minister here at the Unitarian Universalist congregation of the Low Country. Welcome to our Mother's Day flower communion and all the things that come with it. I hope that this is a meaningful time for you, whether you're a first or second time visitor or a long time member, that you find yourself connection in a community here in this special time and this special day. We have a number of announcements that are important to us and relevant to us today. One of them is from our finance committee. They wish you to know, if you would please, members, to please pick up your annual meeting packet after the service today. If you have not already have it handed to you. This is the information that members will need for our annual meeting after the service on May 26th. And so please make sure, if you have not been given your member packet, that you pick it up on your way out. It delights me that it is Molly Hood's birthday today.
To you, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Molly. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. There's some other announcements that are not. There's a flower catastrophe to my left. And that's okay. So, one of the things I want to remind you about is Donna Titus's service is scheduled for the 18th, this coming Saturday at 11 o'clock. I wanted to remind you of that you be a part of that as we celebrate her life and also figure out how to fill the void that she leaves. We look forward to being there together with Donna and her family. Those of you who are guests and visitors, thank you so much for being here, for taking a chance on us. You should know that you have managed to find your way into one of the warmest and most welcoming, loving, caring, and compassionate organization and groups of people that I personally have ever met, and I think you will find the same in your own life too. Those of you who are guests and visitors here, I'm going to ask you if you're willing to stand and introduce yourself for a moment. That'd be great, but one of the things I want to bring your attention to is this green mug. There are several of them in the back. If you pick up one of these for your coffee, we will know who you are. So, are there any first or second time visitors that are on my far right? Yes, ma'am, if you would please.
Carol McFarland from Vancouver, British Columbia.
Welcome. In the center section. Yes, sir.
Bob Boyle from Buffalo, New York.
Welcome. Yes, sir.
I'm Raj Bates. It's my second visit, and it's good to be back.
Thank you. Good to have you here. And on my far left, your right, anybody in this section that wishes to introduce themselves to us? Thank you, sir.
I'm Scott Hart. My wife Laura Hart. We're here with our daughters, Ellen and Olivia.
Welcome. Welcome. So other announcements I want to bring to your attention. You see the order of speaking for our pluralism. This coming Sunday, I will be speaking on the nature of our community and who we are. Same way that in the same message on the 26th. Looking forward to being able to be a part of all that. You'll see the announcements concerning small group dinners, and an opportunity to sign up for them is out in the lobby. That's a great way for us to get to know each other. So if you would please and are willing, we'd appreciate you to be able to sign up. We're looking for greeters, and so if you have a good spirit, if you have a nice smile, and you don't mind speaking to strangers, we would love for you to become a part of. Yeah, we got one up here. Become part of the greeters committee. So I thank you for that. If you would please think about that and see whether or not that might fit into your world and into your life. We are celebrating and acknowledging Mother's Day today. And on a somber note, I am reminded, as I always am in this time, that one, not all of us who are female are able to be mothers. And at the same time, not all of us had fabulous mothers. And sometimes these are hard times to think about. These are hard times to be triggered by. But I want to acknowledge that here in this place because it's not fair to offer to this this organization, this group of people, flowery language when sometimes there's hard truth behind them. So just know that we know that and acknowledge that, and that story is yours. If you're willing to share it, we'd love to hear it sometime. But I did want to bring that to your attention. Saturday, May 18th, Shauna in Address. That's our music on Malford's. That's coming up on the 18th. And I think that's all the announcements I want to make. But Diane, I think you have something that you wish to share. So if you would please begin to make your way up front and find, I think, a microphone here. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. Thank you so much for letting me make this announcement about the Peace Games. Some of you have heard me share my extraordinary experience with this program, and others of you have seen the video either on our Facebook page or before service. A new training series is starting this Wednesday, and you will find the weekly action items are based on our 8 principles put into motion. I want to encourage those of you who are even the least bit curious to join our team for the first 2 weeks of a 9-week program. If you don't find it amazing, there is no obligation and no cost. Currently, we have a few people on board, and I will act as the team leader. Our ultimate goal is to create a peace zone in Bluffton within our congregation in the center. I will be available at a break if you have any questions, and I'll give you a brief experience of mine. The assignment was to befriend someone that week, actually 3 people that week, that you wouldn't ordinarily talk to. And when I did this, which was just a stretch for me, it turns out the person was homeless and handicapped. It turned out to be a wonderful experience for myself and for him. So I want to encourage you, if you, again, have any interest, to speak to me and give me your email address, and I will give you the link to register. The overall, it is a nationwide program, and the overall goal is world peace by 2030. It's a great opportunity to be the change you want to see in the world, to think globally and act locally. No matter who wins in November, our government has a War Department, and we need to create a peace department. We can be the change we want to see. Come be a part of it. You won't be disappointed.
Thank you, Diane. Reverend Hood, if you would please, your opening words for today.
Good morning. Nice to see all of you. It's a beautiful morning, and it's not too hot, not too cold. That's perfect. A plug before I get started for the annual meeting, which unfortunately I will not be here for, but it really is important, and I know, quite frankly, sometimes it's boring. You know, reports, budgets, it's not why we come to church. But it really is important because we are, small c, congregationalists. That means we own this place. A lot of churches, you don't own the building. It also means you get to control staffing and who speaks up here. In a lot of churches, that's not the case. Some hierarchy tells the congregation who's going to speak from the pulpit and who isn't. It is an important time. It's only once a year. And if you're not sure and say, oh, well, maybe it's the annual meeting, really make an effort to come and exercise your vote and exercise the fact that we are a true democracy. And that's not always the case in religious institutions, to be honest with you. Just to let you know, I think I've announced this before, Molly and I are making our annual trip to Maine this week. And this year it's going to be a little bit different because I decided after 56 years, I think, preaching, that I'm going to take a sabbatical. Cheer up, you don't have to pay me, like most sabbaticals. I'm just going to take 4 months and not think about preaching and recharge my batteries perhaps a little bit, who knows, maybe not, so that you will not see me by Zoom, and that allows some time to open up, and Cheryl is working diligently to fill the pulpit with very interesting and provocative people. Right, Cheryl? Right. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right. That's good. So I say goodbye, but not goodbye for certainly for long term. I will miss you all, and I will miss this building. Over the time that Molly and I have been here, we would say together that this is a very special place. This is from an anonymous author in honor of Mother's Day. Mother's Day is more than Leave It to Beaver or Ozzie and Harriet. Mother's Day is more than the old traditional view of stay-at-home mothers nurturing their fold. Motherhood itself has changed. Mother's Day isn't even just for mothers. It celebrates nurturers of all time and all places and all types. Have you been nurtured? If yes, then you have been blessed. Give thanks to all who nurture, all who provide the example of love and caring that we can take with us for all of our lives. If we have been nurtured, we have been given a special gift. So happy Nurturers Day. Give honor and thanks to all who practice this ancient and exceptional art. And we're going to try a new hymn this morning. I know John has trepidation, but we're going to give it a shot here. Come join this, whosoever is singing. It's hymn number 76, if you would rise as you are willing and able, and join in singing For the Flowers That Bloom About Our Feet.
This is the time that we share of our abundance, and we'd like to thank everyone that has donated items today to the Sandalwood Food Pantry and Bluffton Self-Help.
Your weekly contributions are greatly appreciated. And now we will share our abundance to support our work within these walls and beyond. If you happen to be one of our lovely visitors today, please let the baskets pass. Your presence here today is our gift. Thank you all very much.
So this was a special request from Dikud.
Where have all the flowers gone? Long time past. Where have all the soldiers gone? Gone to graveyards, every one. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? Where have all the graveyards gone? Long time passing. Where have all the graveyards gone? Long time ago. Where have all the graveyards gone? Gone to flowers, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will we ever
Thank you very much, musicians. Interesting enough, I saw people singing along. That was really, really neat. By the way, Pete Seeger is a Unitarian. And thanks for the moment of dance, too. Very neat. Since I'm not going to be here for 4 months, I need your permission, although I'm just going to assume it's given, to whine for about 2 minutes. The travails of being a minister who only preaches once a month. I get to plan ahead about what I'm going to say, and I knew I was preaching on flower communion, and I requested that beautiful song, which is so meaningful to me. And I requested that because that song for a generation was very, very meaningful. And I wanted to talk about how flowers have become a symbol for peace, and how flowers, in fact, we still have a kind of archaic expression now of flower children, people who took flowers as some sort of special karma around them. The whining is then I listened to Charlie's meditation. Not this previous week, but the week prior to that. And he talked about less beautiful without you, and about pluralism, and how we need to be a big, huge bucket that appeals to people far beyond people of my generation, and I'm 78 and going soon, and people who are white and people who are male. And I was going to tell you all about those flowers until Charlie reminded me that really we need to have messages that are more encompassing for everyone. So this is for you, Charlie. I take the first page of my sermon. I'll leave the scraps for you. All right, well, I've got to be much more inclusive, and so I want to tell you just a couple of stories about communion. And that might be familiar to a larger group because so many of us come from a tradition where communion was part of our religious experience. If you came from Roman Catholicism, of course, remember the Mass is in fact a service of communion. And certainly in Protestant churches, remember that communion is served, sometimes usually in most churches maybe once a month. If you come from a Jewish tradition, and certainly the idea of Passover and the Passover meal has a communal element to it. So I'm trying to be a little broader here and talk to you about a couple of lessons I've learned about communion. To do so, I have to tell you about the first communion service that I gave. I graduated way back from seminary in 1971. And shortly after graduation, I got a phone call saying, from a small Universalist church in Albion, New York, midway between Rochester and Buffalo. They get even more snow than we get in Rochester, in Buffalo. And saying, would you come and preach? Well, one thing led to another, and I preached there a number of times. And when it got to be about February, I was approached and say, oh, you're coming Good Friday, aren't you? And I said, Good Friday? That's not really a holiday, if that's what you want to call it, or a traditional time that religious liberals meet. And they said, oh, well, you do need to come on Good Friday, and we'll talk to you later about the service. Okay, sure, I guess. I'm getting to know these folk, and it's primarily an older congregation, but not exclusively. As we get closer to Good Friday, I'm approached by not one, but two or three people who said, now, you understand about Good Friday, don't you? And I said, well, yes, I understand about communion, and I can talk about the symbolism of the bread and for them, it was grape juice. The idea of community goes, she goes, well, that's not really important. We don't need all that symbolism stuff. We want to do it like Reverend Robinson used to do it back in 1939. Good old Reverend Robinson died long before I ever was there, but I got the message loud and clear that you're going to do it exactly like Reverend Robinson did it, which means that you do a little service in the sanctuary, and then you go out to the parish hall, and the parish hall is completely dark except for candles on a big, huge tables in the section of a cross with all these palms on it, and you will serve from the traditional communion set that had been given to the church by George Pullman back when the church was founded in the 1890s. And you are to do it the exact same way Reverend Robinson did it. I had some problems with that for a while. First of all, I don't like any other old minister telling me what to do, but more than that is the whole idea of a really traditional Orthodox Christian ceremony being part of what I was expected to do, and to some degree in part of being, this is what we do in this Unitarian Universalist church. And not only did I do it once, but I did that ceremony for 35 years. Every Good Friday, because I did it just like Reverend Robinson did it. There's a lesson there. And the lesson is this. It's not really the act of communion. What is important, or what was important for them, and it took me a number of years to figure it out, was a sense of the past. That, again, it was an older congregation, and they needed something, or they felt they could grab on to something that was the same as it used to be. And for that congregation, for those older people, that was very important. And for the few younger people who attended, they attended to support the fact that they felt that the congregation should recognize those elderly or older members of the congregation. That the words that were said, that the symbol of the cross and the grape juice and whatever, that really wasn't what was important to them. The ritual of doing something that they had done in the past and had meaning to them, that's what was important for them. And that's a lesson for me, not to try and get too theological about communion, because communion is what they made it to be, and flower communion is going to be what you make it to be. And don't listen to anybody to tell you differently what the meaning is going to be. Because in all likelihood, the person least likely to know is the minister. A second lesson. About, I can't remember how many years into my doing Good Friday communion, we did have a couple of children in the service. They might have even been my own, quite frankly. I don't remember who they were, but we actually had a couple of children there. And we also had a family that was new to the congregation, or at least new to the community. I think quite frankly, more new to the community. And we went through and we had the little service, and we went out and we had the bread and the wine. And this lady approached me afterwards, after all the other people had said, "Oh, Reverend Hood, that was such a nice service," just like Reverend Robinson. And she said to me, "What about the children?" "Well, what about it?" "Well, you gave them communion." And I said, "Well, yes. Yeah, I mean, they were here, and did you expect me to pass them by?" Well, in our church, I never figured out what it was. We don't give communion until they've had First Communion, or they've been baptized by immersion, or whatever. In other words, she was saying that you don't just give that communion, you don't give that ceremony to anybody, you just give it to certain people. And I was pretty good, I thought. I thought I had a pretty good reply. I said, "Well, we're Universalists." This was primarily a Universalist congregation. "And we believe everybody's going to heaven eventually." We do believe in universal salvation. Everybody's going to heaven. And it doesn't make any difference about what their age is. And as part of that belief, we would believe, I said to the lady, that anybody who wanted to come and partake of this ceremony should be able to do so. And that includes children. We never saw her again. Okay? But the lesson remains that we, as a congregation here, invite all of you to come to communion. We also invite all of you to be part of our community. Male, female, any gender or variety thereof, any race, any sexual orientation, theist, atheist, humanist, pagan, agnostic, whatever the religion of the day is, if that's what you want to believe, you're welcome here to be part of our communion. We strive for, we don't always succeed, but we strive for pluralism. We strive to have a message that everybody can receive and everybody can somehow partake. There's one exception to that. Fans of the New York Yankees. No, man, I'm sorry. David's giving me a thumbs down in the back. Yes, that's a joke, by the way. I just want to make sure you understand it. I give you all that real nice pluralism pep talk, and then I make a joke. But I couldn't resist. Just part of it. The message, though, of the flower communion is the message that you want to make of it. If you would like to speak a few words, please, just a few. We have a large group here. When you take your flower, Cheryl will talk about that later, you are welcome to do so, and perhaps tell us what the flower might mean to you. But the message that we want to take with us is that everybody is included. Everybody is going to heaven. The supreme worth of every human personality. That's what Universalists wrote into their creed in 1935. The supreme worth of every human personality. Today we talk about dignity and respect and love. And if we can just take that away from our flower communion, that message alone, that message of pluralism that Charlie so eloquently talked about a few days ago, then we've had a successful time and it was worth the effort. Welcome to our flower communion service. Charlie? Cheryl?
This blessing of the flowers was actually used by Norbert Šápek in the very early flower communion service in his native Czechoslovakia. The words that he wrote have just as much meaning today as they did a century ago. He writes this: Infinite Spirit of life, we ask thy blessing on these, thy messengers of fellowship and love. May they remind us, amid diversities of knowledge and gifts, to be one in desire and affection and devotion to thy holy will. May they also remind us of the value of comradeship, of doing and sharing alike. May we cherish friendship as one of thy most precious gifts. May we not let awareness of another's talents discourage us or sully our relationship, but may we realize that whatever we can do, great or small, the efforts of all of us are needed to do thy work in this world. Amen. Sure.
We join with fellow Unitarian Universalists across the world who use the flower communion each way as a way of remembering the past and also celebrating our living, active community. For us, that community is here in the Low Country. We also celebrate our common worldwide bonds with like-minded people. We are not alone. Cheryl's going to talk a little bit about the mechanics, and then we'll get started.
It's suggested that you will come down this aisle, and then if you pick your flower, or two, I think there is enough for two, and then go back to your seats to the left or the right. And as Dick said, if you wish to speak a few words, something about the flowers, something about your mom, use this microphone before you go back to your seat. And if you'll start down this aisle, you can begin. John is going to play something.
Perhaps those on the far right might go first and begin to make their way around. Thank you.
Oh,
pluralism, of course, and in memory of my mother, and in honor of my daughters and the wonderful mothers that they've become, and our grandchildren, and the many grandmothers that contribute to our family.
I love you, Mom.
In honor of Mother's Day, to all mothers, happy Mother's Day.
I'd like to thank my mother for giving me the joy of flowers. I'd like to thank my mother for giving me the joy of flowers. Her favorite flower was the rose.
Peace and love to moms worldwide, and it starts right here.
Is a second row of flowers. Make sure you don't miss those. And some are laying on the front of the table.
Sarah, who's about to be a mother, and for our new grandchild who is about to be born any minute.
I chose the hydrangea because I can't grow them. I'm the only one that can't grow them. Thank you.
Taking my flower in honor of Donna Titus. She's up here for the ceremony. I'll miss her. I'm taking this flower in honor of Donna Titus, who will not be here, and neither will I, but I will remember her very fondly with this.
And this yellow rose is for my mom, Carmita. She loved yellow roses. Did everyone get a flower? Even if you didn't bring a flower, there's plenty here.
All throughout this ceremony, the words of John Denver have been in my head, poems and prayers and promises. So I want to thank so many people for making this service possible. David and the 7 principals, it was wonderful to be back on that journey back into our younger days. I want to remind you that this coming Sunday is the New Member Sunday. We're looking forward to acknowledging those who've joined our congregation recently and to celebrating with them. I also want to acknowledge those that have volunteered in the kitchen, those that have volunteered for security, those that have volunteered for worship and nursery, and probably leaving somebody else out. But thank you so much for making your time, skill, and talent available to us. That's how we become who we are. So thank you so much. Dick, your final remarks.
Just one clarification. Because it's Mother's Day, we're not having talk back. Free people up to go celebrate and honor their nurturers. This is the closing blessing. May the blessing of the flowers be upon you. May their beauty beckon to you each morning, and their loveliness lure you each day, and their tenderness caress you each night. May their delicate petals make you gentle, and their eyes make you aware, and their stems make you sturdy, and their reaching make you care. Amen.
Would you stand as you're willing and able as we extinguish the chalice? While we extinguish this flame, we still carry in our hearts the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment until we are together again.
Good job, John.